Long ago, gamers enjoyed their hobby in harmony. Then, everything changed when tourists attacked, and as they laid waste to the gaming landscape, they gaslighted, claiming there is no war on gamers. Years passed, and gamers discovered Eve, a member of the 7th Airborne Squad. And although her assets are great, she has a lot to prove before she can stand with the likes of Chun-Li and Lara Croft. But I believe Eve can bring balance to the gaming world. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Life So Crazy. It's the Vongola Boss here. After last week's state of play, it should be real clear by now that Stellar Blade is going to be one of those games. And I'm all for it. Despite all the hype surrounding this game, the usual suspects are clutching their pearls, showing their Venustrophobia again. Yes, you heard me, Venustrophobia. See, in the words of a pimp named Slickback, Venustrophobia is no laughing matter. Aversion to attractive women can mess with your health, your self-esteem, and scary enough, even your bloodline. All my life, I've heard that gamers are prone to scaring the hoes, but judging by the amount of grown men I've seen crying on the internet over Eve, the main protagonist of Stellar Blade, it seems the real truth of the matter is that the hoes are scaring supposed gamers. You see, Eve is a far cry from the usual clapped women Western AAA studios have been putting out in their games as of late. She's attractive, has feminine features, and ain't built like Plank from Ed, Edd n Eddy. And from the gameplay we've seen, she's definitely about that action. Now, whether the game will be good or not, we'll know in a few months, but so far, it's got people excited, except for the Venustrophobic gamer.
Do you think the character model was actually very distracting in not a good way? Because with the camera angles chosen, it just felt like this game seems like a game that came out in 2002 in terms of its, character design. It's a bit old and not flattering, I don't think, for a modern audience in comparison to something like Forspoken.
You serious?
Now, last time I checked, beautiful women never went out of style. But if it's not up to your taste, just say that. But please stretch before you reach and use Forspoken as a model example. In all fairness, this clip did come out before that game released, but it's my opinion that nothing outside of the magic spells and parkour looks better than what we've seen from Stellar Blade so far. The only thing that's from a bygone era is game developers who actually understand what appeals to their target audience. And the results echo that. They go out of their way to hire attractive women as models only to butcher them beyond recognition. I hope that check is good because I don't know how these face models do it. As far as I'm concerned, bump all that realism nonsense. If you put me in a video game, you better give me a glow up like handsome Squidward. But I digress. Shout out to the developers Shift Up for understanding their target audience by giving them something nice to look at. They went above and beyond, but more on that later. The biggest example of brain rot I see is from detractors who are clutching pearls over polygons and pixels, claiming anyone who finds Eve easy on the eyes needs to have their hard drives inspected by the feds.
Go be stupid somewhere else.
Saying she looks like a child. Yes, officer, this person right here is projecting. It's wild because if you take a peek into the closets of those who spout this nonsense, it becomes clear that they're suffering from a guilty conscience. On top of saying she looks too young, goofies claim she's unrealistic and sets harmful beauty standards. My brother in Christ, it is a video game. But if that isn't enough for you, Shift Up not only went above and beyond, but they came with receipts by hiring Shin Jae-yoon as their body model for Eve. If South Korea didn't have levels of feminism that puts even America to shame, I would say bet. Let me find out. Yeah, you can say many things about her body, all being positive, but enhanced or disproportionate ain't one of them. If Steve Rogers has America's yams, then Shin Jae-yoon has South Korea's. I mean, look at the female cast, bro. Shift Up really doesn't miss.
Approved. Approved.
Yeah, that brother's starving.
All right, let me tighten up. The face model for Eve was done in-house by the dev team, but the point here is Shin Jae-yoon serves as proof that you can have attractive women in video games that are in fact realistic, contrary to what these detractors would have you believe. I need to mention the lengths some people are going to in order to downplay this game. There's even one guy on Twitter who's been very vocal in his dislike of the game, chalking up its popularity to just nice yams. Looks great, albeit I can't get past the over-sexualization of Stellar Blade. It would have been passable if their female characters didn't have the faces of a damn child. And if you find this arousing, you need to get all your hard drives and phones checked by the FBI.
Really makes you think.
Why do children come to mind for these people when they see these characters? All the ratios this man was getting had him fighting for his life, which prompted him to do the most and go out of his way to conduct man-on-the-street interviews to gauge the reactions of Stellar Blade from the brightest and finest New York has to offer.
Stellar Blade! She looks 14. And with the side ponytail too, girl. She needs a bow.
She looks like she's 16.
Oh, hell nah. It looks nothing like her. It's like two different people.
It's perfectly fine to have an animation style, especially in a game, but when you're appropriating someone else's image and then changing it, it becomes an issue.
She needs a little bow and she's on her way into middle school. I just don't get her at all. Like that nose.
The nose is very different.
Yeah, that nose is definitely not Asian. She's Asian. They took a white woman and supplemented some white woman DNA into this girl to make her a little more white. Because that is not what I just saw. She just looks bland to me.
How old do you think this character looks?
A lot younger. I don't know, like they took away like what was unique about her.
If you're working on the physics of the way her body moves rather than the physics of the actual game, which you can see in there does not look great, that's how you know that you've messed up.
Jesus. Right. Seems like they're over-sexualizing her.
Yeah, definitely over-sexualizing her.
Stellar Blade.
That's the title of a game that would do this. That's the title of a game that would do this. I think it's just men that's never touched a woman in their life not knowing what the fuck they look like. And so they're like, this is what women in my video games always looked like. So why are we changing it? It's like, because it's not real, bro. You're living in a fantasy. Wake up. This isn't the Matrix.
All I'm going to say is if Hollywood wants to race and gender swap Joker for a new movie, I got somebody they can cast who checks all the right boxes. Besides that, this is low-hanging fruit because it'd be too easy, man. I'm talking O2 Lakers Shack barbecue chicken. The roasting would truly be legendary. But with how contrived and forced this video is, it ain't even worth slicing and dicing. He wanted a reaction and he went to the types of people most likely to give it to him. There's been a whole lot of coping, seething, and even attempted sabotage throughout Stellar Blade's development. Word is that Shipped Up fired 2 female contractors from the company because they were feminists. But upon further investigation, they weren't actually fired due to their beliefs, but because one woman tried to derail the project by speaking up at a shareholders meeting complaining about the fan service in the game. She definitely went in there saying all the stuff Western developers bend over backwards for. She was shortly after let go, and then the second woman tried to cape for her online and got booted as a result. It's still a wonder how this game is still in its current state, not only with Sony publishing the game, but the current gender war going on in South Korea. About 2 weeks ago, this article came out explaining the gender ideology gap between men and women in countries all over the world, and South Korea was one of the worst of the countries shown. Come to find out, a whole feminist cult had taken over the government, and it's a whole rabbit hole you can dive into yourself. Really crazy and wild stuff. But it just goes to show how determined the devs of Stellar Blade are on releasing this game as true to their vision as possible. They have insurgents going as far as disrupting shareholders meetings, which is insane, and all the more reason why I will be playing day one. But anyway, let's check out what the people had to say about this foolishness. In the before times, Stellar Blade would have came out, been a 6 to 7 out of 10, and been brought up as a fun little anomaly years later. Now it's just discourse fodder. It's signs of the times. Someone said, Baldur's Gate literally bragged about how you could a bear. People are their pants over Stellar Blade having a girl who is pretty in it. Thus the pattern of it's okay when Westerners do it continues. As an Asian, I don't understand Western cultures. You guys celebrate showing off skins on social media, naked parade, lonely fans. It's said to be empowering for women, but having the same thing in games and movies, nope, you better cover up. See, when it comes to understanding Western cultures,
that's the neat thing. You don't.
We threw logic and common sense out the window a long time ago. It's not enough for these types of people to just say, okay, this ain't for me, I'm gonna keep it pushing. No, they want everything to be a reflection of the miserable crabs in a barrel they are. There's no doubt people are going to pick this game up solely because of the yams. But hey, fan service sells for a reason. I'm a gameplay and story kind of guy, if you catch my drift. But a little nice backside never hurt nobody. At the time of recording for this video, Stellar Blade has reached number 2 for pre-orders on the PlayStation Store. And it makes sense when you realize the creator for this game knows ball. He stated, "When it comes to the design, we put special attention on the back of the character because the player is always facing the back of the character when they're playing. And honestly, when I play a game, I would like to see someone who is better looking than myself. That's what I want. I don't want to see something normal. I want to see something more ideal." I think that is very important in a form of entertainment. This is, after all, entertainment targeted for adults. Hoping this game does well, 1, because any game I'm paying $70 for I expect to be good, but 2, this game succeeding would really send a message. I'm seeing a lot of enthusiasm for this game as people say it feels like the return of something gaming has been missing for a minute now. In a wasteland filled with microtransactions, walking simulators, half-baked and broken releases, pompous lecturing, and much more, this game, fan service aside, really does feel like a callback to an older era of gaming. But that may just work in its favor. We've already seen Palworld take over the gaming world by storm. Maybe Stellar Blade will do the same. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you're new. And drop a comment down below. I want to hear what you guys have to say about Stellar Blade and the discourse surrounding it. Check out the 2 videos showing up on the screen to see more Life So Crazy. It's been the Vongola Boss, and I'll catch y'all next time. Peace.